All right, let's get this party started. Let's get it started. Let me just make sure we're online here. Hold on just a second. Get my spectacles on. What's up? What's up? What's up? West Virginia in the house. Right on, my man. We got, let's make sure. Are we live there, brother man? Looks like we're live. All right, cool. Good. We're live. All right, cool, man. I got, by the way, Pablo is retired. Why aren't you? You can get your own T-shirt. I think it's the Goobly Goop back underneath there. The actually, do I still have that store up? I can't remember. Anyway, I have my Pablo is retired T-shirt. You can get your own. I think it's in the show notes there. I can't remember. But anyway, if you want to get one, by all means do so. I have no idea. I can't remember how much they cost. I don't recall. I need to be better at self promotion. Just something that I don't know. I don't like doing. Kind of bores me, frankly. I figure the content will promote itself. We'll see. All right, so man, I gotta tell you though, I'm getting a lot of people email me. Should they dollar cost average into stocks? Dude, I'm telling you, I just think the bond market is going to tear it up. Once the raising is done, we're probably pretty close. I think the bond market is going to explode in like a rocket ship to the moon with people on it going through the Van Allen radiation belt, losing the data of the greatest escapade mankind has ever done. We just lost it. Just gone. Really? Yeah, just gone. The lunar module. How was that built? Nah, we don't have the stuff anymore. That's weird. Anyway, come on, man, it's so stupid. The idea you lost the greatest achievement, the visual, the telemetry data of the greatest achievement of mankind, just gone. It's so dumb. I didn't even mean to go off this tangent. It infuriated me so much, not just laugh. The idea that we don't have the technology today, as according to NASA, to go through the Van Allen radiation belt, but 50 years ago we did. And then the list of Michael Collins and Pettit and these other astronauts that we destroyed the technology. It's so stupid. Have you ever seen the Russian version of Sputnik? Yeah, if you want to laugh, man, watch the Russian video of Sputnik. It's literally the funniest thing. It's like watching Looney Tunes. You're like, it's so stupid. All right, anyway, I'm just looking. I'm like, man, bonds are getting destroyed, and everyone's like, like somebody emails me. I don't know why. I mean, look, a wonderful lady, very fond of her. She has too much time on their hands. There's no other way around that. I don't know what to say. But every time there's a market, she gets very nervous. I'm like, man, stop paying attention. It's like my wife. My wife is very, very nervous about my kids. And she's like, what if, because we got allergies. We got, hey, Julia Medeiros. Hey, Julia is on from Facebook. Cool. And she's like, like, what if they do this? It could be allergies. What if they eat a peanut butter sandwich? And I say, well, not likely to happen. She goes, but it did happen. There's a kid in California. I said, look, man, the kids die this is what the NRA, we used to argue all the time when the gun control looked like they were winning. They used to say, oh, my goodness, there's more accidental deaths from discharges than anything else. We would say there's more kids that die in the freaking 3 inches of a tub bath than die by accidental discharges. So why don't you go ahead and ban bathtubs? Because it was just silly. But the problem is people hear this all the time. They're like, oh my goodness, we're all going to die from accidental discharges. It's stupid. It's not true. I was telling my wife, I said, you just got to stop reading this stuff, dude. It freaks you out, man. You know what I'm saying? She's so nervous about this, that, and the other. She goes, I know, but I just can't stop. I said, I know, you got to turn that crap off because it just freaks you out. Anyway, so the issue is the bond market is like the worst we've ever seen in the bond, ever. It's crazy. And a lot of people are like, oh my goodness. And I'm like, no. I mean, look, if you followed my advice and bought Ginnie Mae as your cash component, you're not in a good place right now. Ginnie Mae is down, I think, 12% this year or something like that. We've never seen that ever. You know what I'm saying? If you follow that, you're like, dude, I want to wring that guy's neck. I don't know what to tell you, man. But again, if you're getting out of bonds now, after just they have never been down this much this fast. Someone had posted a thing the other day I thought was pretty interesting. I can't remember where I saw it. He said the Fed Volcker raising in the 70s and 80s like 100%. Powell raising now like 1,000%, if that makes sense. So right now, I mean, I can't. It's amazing to me. The federal funds rate was at 25 basis points literally like 8 months ago, and now I don't know what's that 3. You know what I'm saying? I'm just insanity. The 10-year Treasury, the Fed doesn't really raise it the rates on 10-year Treasury, but the 10-year Treasury looked at today. I'm like, dude, it's at 3.9. This is from it was down 3.9. It was down to 1.34 within the last 52 weeks. It is literally tripled. The yields on the 10-year Treasury have tripled in less than in a year's time. I mean, it's never happened before. The Fed funds rate went from 25 basis points to whatever it is today. If someone knows, put in the system there. I don't know. It's crazy. And so that means bonds are getting killed. So we'll go to BND. BND. Oh, one sec. BND. There we go. So the Vanguard total bond is down from is that $70.86, and its 52-week high was 86. So it's down $16 on 86. That's down 19%, 18.5%. Now that does not include interest that you're getting. I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy. In a year's time, that's down the total bond index. Let's look at Ginnie Mae. So Ginnie Mae is 1064. Right now it's at 982. No, 895. There we go. So it's at the low. So Ginnie Mae has lost 10.64 minus 8.95 divided by 10.64 has lost 16%. That does not include interest. So add another 2 to 3% interest. Ginnie Mae is down 12%. Never happened before. This has never happened before. And people are freaking out. I'm like, dude, all right, you can get out if you want. I mean, the idea of getting out of bonds when they're down 20% now seems crazy to me. That'd be like getting out of stocks in 2008 when the markets were down, March of 2009 when the markets were down 57. It's like you already took it on the chin. You might as well ride it out now. Anyway, point being is if you follow my advice, you had cash, which was the cash equivalent, which is Ginnie Mae, which I don't have any Ginnie Mae, but when I retire, I will. And you had S&P 500 or VTI, yeah, you're freaking hey, you're down 20%. Sucks. Welcome to the crowd, man. Never seen this before. If you think the blood on bonds are going to continue down like this, I don't know what to tell you, man. I mean, look, that seems crazy to me. To get out of bonds now, nuts. But people got to do what they got to do. I'm like, all right. But that's one of the reasons I always talk about the G fund and little cash and certificates. I'm not anti-cash, and I've never said cash is trash. I've never said don't have cash. I just love Ginnie Mae. Always have, always will. And now the interest rates are much higher. I love it even more. I just actually let's just go. I'm gonna bring up something here real quick. We're gonna bring up finance. I just want to show you again why I love the bond market. When the bond market has blood in the streets, that should make everybody happy. All right, so we're gonna go to we're gonna look at Ginnie. Let's the total bond index. Vanguard. We're just gonna look at the proxy. The ETF doesn't go back long enough. Bond index. BBL. Come on, hold on a second. BBLTX, don't want that one. VBITX, don't want that. There we go. VBMFX. All right. VBMFX. All right. That's a total bond index. And we're going to look at the total bond index performance. All right, there we go. Share screen, total bond index. All right, can y'all see that? Go to performance. There we go. All right. And here we go. 1994 is down 2.66. 1995 is 18%. 1994, the Fed was raising. I think Greenspan gave a speech on irrational exuberance, if memory serves, in 1994. Just FYI. Fed was raising again in 1999. It's down less than 1%. The next year is up double digits again. 2008, the bond index wasn't down anything, simply because it has so many government bonds in there. I think 2015, 13, yeah, it was down 2.26, and next year it rallied. This year, 2018, it was down. Next year it rallied. Year to date, so last year was down 1.77. I don't know what it is year to date. I don't know. I frankly don't really care much, but man, the history of the bonds getting knocked around is one of recovery very fast, very, very fast. Once the Fed stops raising, let's just look at, actually, I want to look at, we're going to look at the bond, the value of the dollar. Everyone's freaking out about the dollar. The dollar they keep raising. That makes a strong dollar. We want a strong dollar. That's for sure. Look, holy crap, holy. Can you all see this? The dollar, a US dollar buys 1.04 euro. Oh my goodness, that's, I mean, look at that. But the dollar's crashing. That's freaking insanity. The dollar versus the British pound. I gotta, man, 1 second. Hold on. I've never seen that in 20 years. It's crazy. Freaking America kicks ass, baby. I'm so optimistic, my friends. I can't even begin to describe how optimistic I am. There is so much good just going on in the world, and it just GB. Hey man, British pound. Where are you? So GBP or something like that. What the hell? I don't know where the Great Britain, right there, pound sterling. Okay. What happened? Come on, man. GB. That's what I want. Okay. Yeah, whatever. I don't. US dollar. Yeah, I don't. The British pound's falling off a cliff right now. I just know that relative to the dollar. Why can I never find the freaking pound in here, man? UK United. Hold on just a sec. We're gonna find this doggone thing. It's the last thing I ever do. You know, it's GBP. G pound silver is what it's called. Did I miss it? Great Brit pound sterling. There we go. All right. Look at that. Look at that. I mean, look at that, dude. The dollar only bought 73 pounds or 73 cents, 73 cents for a dollar. Now it's, look at that. Crazy. Let's go to Japanese yen. Crazy. Look at that. Freaking US, man, I love it. So a strong dollar is good. We always want a strong dollar. We don't want a weak dollar. That's where Trump was idiotic. We want a weak dollar so we can export. No, we want a strong dollar. Strong dollar makes imports cheaper. I know everyone says that's bad. Well, we're exporting this. I don't like it, but we're exporting energy big time, which sucks because if you look at my electricity bill, you know, I'm paying $150 more in electricity, even though I use 500 less kilowatt hours to fund Zelensky's. Let's just say it this way: his more than The most clean government in history of mankind is Zelensky. Let's just put it like that. And I know there's someone here. I'm going to report on Josh for questioning the Ukraine war machine. I don't like that, Josh. You shouldn't do that. Well, my electricity bill is $150 more with 500 kilowatt hours less. So Zelensky can. I'll leave it at that. Let's just put it this way: not a fan. Not a fan. Not a long time. Not a first time. Not a fan of that. Anyway, the point being is that at the end of the day, is like a strong dollar makes our imports cheaper, and we import stuff because this shirt, this textile, certainly wasn't made in North Carolina, or I guess textiles, Virginia, North Carolina. I'm not sure about South Carolina, but certainly wasn't made in the South. Furniture, you used to be able to get furniture in North Carolina, cheap furniture. A lot of that stuff isn't made here anymore either. A lot of that stuff is imported. It is what it is, man. I mean, there's no getting around it. You can gripe all day long, but the facts are, we import goods, and then we export our dollars. That's how it works. And then they use those dollars and buy back our bonds. Our bonds are now higher interest rate than anything else in town. They're going to buy back our bonds and keep the cycle going. I had a guy email me yesterday. I was like, oh my God. He saw this video. Hearsay, financial, something like that. Not here to bash the guy. I don't know him. I don't know, but it's like, oh, the Japanese are selling their treasuries. Like, dude, I've heard this so many times about Japan selling their treasuries to buy what with, dude? To buy what with? Their yen. The Chinese are going to sell the treasuries to buy what with? Why do you think the dollar is going through the roof? Because they get more bang for the buck and the most secure economy the world has ever seen in the United States. This isn't rocket science, dude. Are you going to invest in freaking, what's the Nikola Motors, which they're recalling all their stupid electric vehicles, or are you going to invest in U.S. government debt? You're going to invest in U.S. government debt because it yields more now and it's safer than Nikola. I'm just using that as the emerging markets. As a metaphor to look at emerging markets. You're not going to invest in crap, dude. You're going to invest in high quality stuff that pays more, and that's the U.S. dollar. There's no two ways around that. By the way, Japan and China combined they only own a small proportion of all our debt. We own most of our debt. Just fact, man. These things are not debatable. So at the end of the day, we own our. I mean, look, can it go on forever? No. All empires fall, and we are an empire. We are an empire that goes around the world exploiting what we can. I get it. I don't like it. I love American people. Don't like the American government. But at the end of the day, I'd rather be here than any place else. Everyone's like griping about the Fed. I was like, man, I just so sick of hearing people griping about the Fed. It's the most idiotic thing in the world. As if the people are like, oh, the Fed causes volatility. They don't have any history. They have no idea what happened in the 1800s. Freaking recessions, depressions, all that stuff came and went like it was freaking you blinking an eye. It's nuts. They have no idea about the 1800s. Oh, the Fed is evil. They're running things to the ground. No. I don't like the Fed. I don't like the fact it's a private entity that runs our system. What are you going to do without it, though? No. If you look at what the Fed has accomplished relative to what it was before, the Fed has been successful. There's just no two ways around that. There isn't any. It's just you want to focus your ire, as I say all the time, focus it on the Green New Deal, the Greens. That's where the focus should be because everything revolves around cheap energy. You get rid of cheap energy, it all falls to pot. Going back to export imports. You can't import without freaking diesel fuel to drive those ships or nuclear, right? You can't move product from China to the Panama Canal up here to St. Lawrence River without nuclear or diesel fuel. You're not doing it on batteries. You're not. So if we have expensive energy, guess what? Those imports became a hell of a lot more expensive. That's just a fact. That's a fact. And they all gripe about tariffs. Yeah. Well, we have a tariff. It's called expensive energy. So anyway, we're exporting natural gas. We're exporting the quality stuff in the United States overseas, and we are eating the fee for that, which sucks, man. Anyway, but still, there's so much to be positive, though. At the end of the day, when all else fails, everyone turns to America. Always has, always will. At least for the next 50 years, 100 years, something like that. I don't know. Just read a report the other day, yesterday, as a matter of fact, right before I went nights. Some people are expecting China to have less than 500 million people by the end of the century. Tell me that's not crazy. So what happens when you have a population implosion? not a population explosion. I challenged the issue, and I'm going to get my main point here in just a second. We're working on some spreadsheets. I challenged the whole thing on the population anyway. I don't think these numbers are correct. The census bureaus and all that stuff. We've been, even in the United States, we've been overstating census information for decades and decades and decades. And who knows what the hell they're doing in overseas? I don't know. Anyway, I don't think there's 7 billion people in this world. I don't think so. I mean, you can't. You just fly over the United States. Anytime you fly, you look down. There's a whole bunch of undeveloped land. That's just a fact. There's no way it's 7 billion people. I don't think it is. I think it's one big fat lie. And I don't know if it's a lie deliberately or a lie just by ignorance. I don't know. But I don't think there's 7 billion people in the world. I don't think so at all. Anyway, the point being was if China reduces its population because of one child policy, two child policies, all the freaking who knows what the hell is going on here. What happens when you have less people in the world? What does that do to the economy? Well, again, a shrinking population is deflationary. It's just all there is to it. So deflation, what is the best investment during deflation? Who wants to take a guess? The best investment during deflation. We're the 15-second delay. Angie says, good morning. Rothschild. Remember, Roth, R-O-T-H is red. And then shield is Rothschild is red sign. Interesting. So the old Rothschild from the beginning weren't called Rothschilds, but they did run a store that had a red sign on there for gold trading. Very interesting. The best investment in, and I'm talking about security, Carl. The best security to invest in during deflation is we got commodities, energy. The best investment, security wise now, bonds, 100%. Bond, well, Lee says pay off debt too, both those things. Basically, this is two sides of the same coin, paying off debt and bonds. Bonds are wonderful in deflationary times. No, we're not there. We're not there now. We're not certainly in deflation now. I mean, I can see it by my electricity bill. Not there now. That's a fact. And I went to Publix today. There are fewer BOGOs, buy one, get one free, than there typically are. I don't know if that's due to, I don't know what that's due to. But at the end of the day, debt instruments as an investor are your best investment in deflationary time. Being a debtor is the worst investment being in inflationary time. Bonds are in trouble still. Well, all right, don't buy them. I'm telling you, man. You wait to the pop and bonds. I don't know what's going to be. Anyway, so going back, a couple people emailed me, should I get out of bonds? Well, you do whatever you got to do. I'm certainly not. Should I dollar cost average back into stocks? Yeah, maybe. I mean, stocks aren't down anywhere near historic proportions, but bonds are. Maybe it's just contrarian in me, man. The contrarian in me says, if it's way down, that's something I want to look into. Bonds are freaking down, worse than we've ever seen. Stocks is just a run-of-the-mill bear market. Until we get into the 30 to 35% decline, I'm not even blinking an eye. It happens, man. I mean, this is no big deal. The bonds, on the other hand, are literally a once-in-a-century decline. Which, if you think the government debt is going bankrupt and they're never going to pay it, I don't know what to tell you, man. I'm just sitting there thinking, if I'm putting money in, and I am, I'm buying bonds, and I am. That's what I'm doing, and I'm buying just a good old. What the hell am I buying? I can't remember. I'm buying the. I still buy VTI. I forgot what. I don't think. Do I buy the bond index? Or buy Ginnie Mae? I can't remember. But basically, I put $2,000 every 2 weeks into a security. I was doing 2,000 totally into VTI. I'm just buying. I'm market time, and I think the bond market has so many upsides that I'm buying into it on a dollar cost average basis. You wait, man. I mean, I could absolutely be wrong. What I'm saying. Don't listen to me. If I do it, do the opposite. But you wait. All right. So I want to get into my my little presentation here. Let's see if I can bring it up. Hold on a second. There we go. All right. I just how do I want to say this? This idea of how much you need to retire. I was listening to Devin Carroll yesterday. He did a video on this. It's just, I like Devin. I just that video. Look, I do so many videos. I'm sure it leaves a lot to be desired. That wasn't. I didn't think. I don't know. It didn't pique my interest. His video. What I mean, I'm not trying to. I like Devin. I've interviewed him. I would consider him a friend of mine. I was. It was basically pretty just run of the mill stuff, and I was kind of disappointed on that. He did talk about the 4% rule. He did say, thankfully, that he thought it was too conservative. I was glad to hear that. And he did use a 5% methodology. And that's what I say it all the time, is a default 5%. He was using it more as a 5% on your portfolio at the end of the year. And I don't agree with that at all. So basically saying, look, if you have 100,000, you take 5,000 out. If the 100,000 drops to 80,000, you take 4,000 out the following year. If the 100,000 goes to 200,000, you take 10,000 out. I think that's still too conservative. If I'm doing it like that, I'm going to do a 6 to even 7% because if I'm reducing my income when the markets are down, you might as well start on a. You can't run out of money if you do like that. I mean, you could certainly not have a lot of money, but you can't run out if you just take a percentage. Inherently, if you take a percentage of what is left in the portfolio and you do that each and every year, it's impossible to run out of money. Just think about it. I'm going to take 10% of a $100,000 portfolio. Now the market drops to 70,000. I'm going to take 10% of a 70,000 portfolio. Now I'm taking 7,000 out. Now the market's dropped to 50,000. I'm taking 10% of a $50,000 portfolio. I'm taking 10% of a 20,000, 10% of a 10,000, 10% of a dollar portfolio is only a dime. It's impossible to run out of money in that regard. So if you're taking a percentage out and adjusting that each year based on last year's returns, I think even the 5% rule is too conservative. So I always say just 5% and adjust with inflation if you need to. I don't think you need to. But anyway, so I want to show you what I was doing here. Let's bring my. This is it. Yeah. All right. So I just kind of think about this, and I always start with a piece of paper and a pen and my calculator. So what we're doing here is we're going to take a guy. So I had a guy who was really upset. I never do single people, and I do single people. I got single Susie, Scott single, lots of single people. But make sure y'all can see that. Yeah. But what I'm doing here is I'm doing just a little bit bigger. I'm taking a guy who is 62 today, or a guy that I don't care. Did you hear Chris Barfield from Barfield Financial? He posted a thing. He said, "Fall's here. It's time for hunting, football for the men, and pumpkin spice and Hallmark movies for the ladies." And he emailed me back. Apparently, someone was very offended by that. Unsubscribed from his channel because I said, "Dude, you've got to be kidding me." Because I don't go hunting. I like pumpkin spice. You know what I'm saying? But I do like football. I don't care about Hallmark stuff. But so if I don't go hunting and I like pumpkin spice, am I half into one of the 57 flavors and half into the other? I don't know, but I'm so offended by Chris Barfield, I had to unsubscribe from his email. Oh, yeah. Anyway, so we're going to take a guy, and he's 62 years old. All right. So he said, I'm done. I need $5,000 a month. All right. Now we're going to include that for everything. $5,000 a month includes his health insurance. Now, again, if he's only depends on how his money's coming in, but he could qualify for Obamacare subsidies, all that. I don't care. I'm saying he needs $5,000 a month, all inclusive. All right. Everyone's going to say, what about this? Just shut up for a second, please. $5,000 a month. That's everything. His house is paid for. That's property tax included. That's income tax included. That's his health insurance included. He needs $5,000 a month to pay his bills. Everything. Point A to point Z. Stop with the what about? It drives me up the wall. What about health care? It's like I can't stand enough. This includes health care. Or you can do $4,000 a month and have $1,000 a month for healthcare. I don't care how you do it. I like things simple. I'm a simpleton. I'm just a caveman financial planner. I'm not familiar with your ways. I'm just a simpleton. So I say for simplicity, $5,000 a month is all inclusive. All right. So he's going to get $3,000 a month in Social Security. All right. $3,000 a month in Social Security, but he's not going to take Social Security until his full retirement age. All right. So he's going to get he's sitting here today. He's got his statement. His statement says, this is my statement from the video I did earlier today. I can't believe none of you guys watched my video on corporate balance sheets. I only got freaking like 500, 600 views on that. Dude, corporate balance sheets, man. These guys are sitting on so much cash. All these people worried about debt. I'm like, dude, I get it. But there's another side of this debt equation. It's called cash. So if you got debt that's growing like this, but you got freaking cash that's growing like this, to the moon through the Van Allen belt, then you're fine. It's kind of like inflation. Inflation is always an everywhere monetary phenomenon. Too much money chasing too few goods. Yeah, if you're always focused on the too much money, but you have to focus on the too few goods. You can't just have it one way or the other unless you're fear mongering deliberately. Look at all this debt. Oh my goodness, corporate balance sheets. Look at their freaking cash. They got cash coming out the wazoo. I mean, not every corporation, but the S&P 500 as a whole certainly does. But no one watched that video because I didn't title it fear mongering. I should have said, holy crap, corporations are going bankrupt. That's what I should do. Sometimes I'd like to do that, but I couldn't believe it. I titled it, corporate balance sheets look pretty good to me. No one watches. No one watches. Crazy. But the markets are collapsing. People watch. I get it. I just disappointed me. Anyway, be doesn't matter. All right, so what am I doing here? Oh, so he takes the Social Security statement and he says, all right, I'm getting $3,000. I'm 62 now. My FRA says I get $3,000 a month at my full retirement age, which is 67. All right, so let's go back. That's what it says. But he's saying, hold on a second, I get the right spreadsheet. But he's saying, I don't want to take Social Security until I'm 67. But I do want to quit my crappy old job at 62. Why? Because it's a crappy old job. So I need $5,000 a month to live on. $5,000 a month. I don't have anything from Social Security, but adjusted for a 2.4% inflation, which I have right there, at 67, my $3,000 a month in Social Security will pay me $33.78. As long as I don't take it now. I'm not taking it now because if I took it now, it would not be $3,000 a month. It'd be reduced. But as if I sit here today in my Social Security statement, it says my benefit at my FRA is $3,000. My FRA has yet, my PIA, I should say, has yet to be inflated, and I'm inflating at a 2.4% COLA. All right, so I need $5,000 a month, and I'm inflating that at a 3% inflation. Just hang tight here. We're going to circle this around. So I need 60,000 the first year, 61 the second year, 63, 65, 67. So I need right there. I'm going to need $318,000 to live on until Social Security kicks in. Everybody with me so far? 60, 61, 63, 65, 67. You add those up, that's $318,000. For simplicity, I need $320,000 between now and when Social Security kicks in, assuming that I'm spending $5,000 a month adjusted for a 3% inflation. All right, now once Social Security kicks in, my Social Security benefit has increased from $3,000 to $3,378. But my $5,000 a month has increased from $5,000 to $5,096. Hope that makes sense because Social Security is only going up by 2.4, but inflation is 3%. So the difference is I need $29,000 on top of Social Security to meet that right there. I'm going to spend $57.96. What about healthcare? To include healthcare. What about inflation? 3% inflation. Social Security, of that $57.96, Social Security is going to give me $33.78. On an annualized basis, I need $29,000 from a portfolio. And then I'm going to die when I'm 90. All right. And you can see right here, I'm going to die when I'm 90 years old. All right. I hope everybody's following me so far. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, we're going to just tally all these up. How much do I need to live on? I need another $1.1 million with a 3% inflation. I need to get at least inflation adjusted amount at the 3%. So I need $1.1 million to get by, assuming my expenses increase each and every year with inflation. So I needed 318,000 before Social Security kicked in. I needed another 1.19 million once Social Security kicked in, and I'm averaging a 3% rate of return because I got to get enough to keep up with inflation. Hope that makes sense. So the total portfolio I need as a 62-year-old man or a woman who's going to live till he's 90 with Social Security at 3,000 bucks a month today, and my expenditures at 5,000 bucks a month, my total portfolio, assuming I get a rate of return of just the rate of inflation, is 1.418 million. All right, but now what we're going to do is we're going to say, all right, well, now I'm going to do my 5% thing, and it's simple. You just do this. You take that, how much I need, divide that by 0.05. And if I can get a regular rate of return, say 6%, I only need $580,000, if that makes sense, because this right here is assuming I can only get enough to cover inflation. Right there. This right here assumes I can get better than that, and you probably should. But either way, you still need between this and that, you're still going to need $900,000. So this guy who is 62 years old in basic modern finance needs $900,000 to quit his crappy little job at 62, wait till he's 67 to take inflation, and use a 5% rule essentially. Now, if you want to make that a 4% rule, it's going to get even worse. A 4% rule, he's going to need 1.044 million, assuming he's invested somewhat in some kind of securities other than just inflation adjusted securities. All right. Hope that makes sense. So that's pretty scary because you're like, damn, dude, that's a lot of money I need. And I'm going to show you why. This is why the whole financial planning scenario built on this is so freaking stupid. All right. So how many people are living longer, Sarah? How many people? So here's what Sarah's mistake is. She's saying, oh, there's all kinds of people living to 100. Yeah, because the population is so much bigger than what it was 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. And then you got the baby boomer population. I mean, the baby boomer population is gigantic relative to I'm the baby bust. So the baby boom population is huge. So inherently, you're going to have more people living to 100. The facts are, though, there's not that many people living to 100, relatively speaking. It's just not. Plenty of people lived well into their old age back in the 1800s, even. Plenty of people. Anyway, so no, I haven't changed any right capital projections. So if you live to 100, you're going to inherently have to adjust either your spending, or you're going to have to adjust your retirement accounts, or you're going to have to adjust how much you need. Right? I just wonder. I don't get people who do that, but whatever, man. People got to do what they got to do. If they want to think they're going to live to the 100, I'm fine with that. I find it silly just because the evidence is very, very lacking. Now, Sarah's parents are Noah. Who is Noah's wife? I forgot her name. Noah is messing around. Remember his daughters with Noah. The hell, Noah. I remember Noah's daughters, but I can't remember. Let's just say Sarah's husband's Noah, or his dad's Noah, and Sarah's mom is, I don't know, freaking. I'm drawing a blank in my Bible. Who Abraham was married to? Sarah? I can't remember. Anyway, let's just say it was long-lived for her parents. Yeah, maybe they planned at 100. I wouldn't, but okay. All right. So anyway, we're going to go back to the spreadsheets. Now we're like, oh my goodness, I don't have that kind of money, Josh. How dare you? All right. Well, I'm going to share with you something else that's going to alleviate those concerns, my friends. All right. So we're going to go to. All right. So we are going to go to firecalc.com. Firecalc.com. I've shared this with you a bunch of times before. But what we're going to do here is we're going to say in my spreadsheet, we need we'll just say $30,000 a year. All right. But we're only going to need it for 23 years. Why? Because we're 67 when Social Security kicks in. We're 67 when Social Security kicks in. That means we're going to live till we're 90. That means we only need 23 years. All right. Now we need 29,000 above Social Security. 29,000 above Social Security. Everybody with me so far? But what I'm gonna do here, check this out. I'm gonna say our portfolio is only $250,000. All right. Everybody with me so far? All right. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna come up here and we're gonna do spending models. Does it let you guys see this? Okay, now I gotta go over here. Hold on a second. I gotta share this one right. Hold on a sec. Do it. Oh, yeah, sweet. Yay. All right, so now what we're going to do, constant spending power, future spending will be about the same, entered with adjusted for inflation, the typical financial planning insanity, because there is no evidence. None. Well, there's fractional evidence compared to the evidence that is the other direction. Or we're going to use my man Ty Bernicki's reality retirement plan. And we're going to say we're 67 years old. All right. Start with a constant spending power model, but use Bernanke's reality retirement plan. It's a new paradigm for old science, describes extensive research showing that the most people see significant reductions in spending with age. If selected, this option will reduce your inflation-adjusted yearly spending by 2 to 3% per year, starting at age 56. We're starting at 67. And then stabilizing at 76 to keep up with inflation. So because we're 67, this is some of the retirement spending smile, which I have huge issues with there myself. But anyway, right here. So basically from 67 to 76, we're reducing our spending by 2 to 3% per year. And then at 76, we're going to keep up with inflation. I even think this is too conservative. All right. But anyway, be it as it may. And then on top of that, we're going to look at our portfolio. We're going to put 65% in stocks. And we're going to use a 5-year treasury for bonds. So we got 65, 35 with a 5-year treasury. All right. And again, we're only spending we're spending $29,000 on a $250,000 portfolio. And we're going to do it for 23 years. Now let's hit submit. How is this? You all can't see this. Let me share with you the results. Oops. All right, so we're going to go to the results. We're going to go Krakow. All right, so FireCalc look at 129 possible 23-year periods. All right, now I don't like the rolling stuff, but this isn't projected. This is historically what happened. We're not projecting it into the future. We're just looking at the history. We started with a portfolio of 250,000, and we spent 29,000 a year, adjusted for inflation, but it was reduced by 2 to 3% on top of the adjustment for inflation. Because I'll show you the chart that I've done myself. So how it worked out, we had a success rate of 62%. 62%. Now, there's a couple things that is using old numbers on bonds and old numbers on stocks. Okay, well, the bond rate looks pretty good now. The 10-year treasury at 4%. I never thought we'd see a 10-year treasury at 4% ever in my life again. But here we are. It's crazy. And so people say, yeah, but historical models are bad. Well, the bond market is starting to come back in. I think the stock valuations are too high. I grant you that. I don't think we're going to get a 10% rate of return on stocks, but I still use 6.5% on stocks. I was using 2% on bonds. Now I'm going to raise that at the beginning of next year. I'll change my right capital assumptions to 3% on bonds because that's what the rates are. Hell, it might even be 4% because that's what the treasurers are doing. Anyway, so that means 63% of the time we had $290,000 in a $250,000 portfolio and 63% of spending, and 63% of the time we still had money left when we died. How could that possibly be? And the great thing about it, if we look at the Bernanke model, in this case, our spending was going down from 67, I think it was to 70, 67 to 75, 67 to 76. Okay, so spending was going down by 2.5% net of inflation each and every year, and then it steadied with inflation, or I guess you could say it was going up with inflation after that. And I don't think that's even right. And yet, and traditional numbers still came out fine for the most part. I mean, 63%. Should you do that? I'd rather see a 75. But I want to show you something. And this is what, here we go. Sweet. This is literally just my own spreadsheet from the CLS, Bureau of Labor Statistics Consumer Expenditure Survey. And this goes back from 1984 to 2019. All right. So, and literally the dollars of the day. In 1984, a guy 45 to 54, that'd be me and Charlotte, $1,000. All right. 1989, because we're 5 years older, we spent 36,000, adjusted because inflation. 1994, though, because we're now 5 years older than before, and also some of the kids are out of the house, some of the mortgages get paid down. We spent less in 1994 dollars than we did in 1989 dollars, even accounting for inflation. And the reason for that is food. We spent less on food. We spent less on mortgage interest. We spent a little bit more on right here, less on apparel, a little bit more on utilities. We spend a little bit less on transportation, and this includes the inflation that's in there as well. This is in actual dollars. We spent a little bit less on how much we contributed to our 401k and Social Security, a little bit less on entertainment. And the reason for that is simple. Our household fell from 3 to 2.2. One of the kids is gone, essentially. Mortgage interest is less. Food is less. Apparel is less. Fast forward to 1999, Charlotte and me, our household now spends 39,000 as opposed to 33,000 because our household size is basically the same, 2.2. But and now it's just inflated because right now we still have the same household size. We still have basically pretty much the same mortgage interest that we had before because we're just paying it on a regular basis. It's being inflated. But then we fast forward to Josh and Charlotte are now 65 to 74. In 2004 dollars, we spent 36,000, which was less than we spent in 1999 dollars because we're 65 to 74 now. In 1999, we're 55 to 64, most likely still working. All right, so we spent $36,000, which is 3,000 less from 5 years previous. Food again is reduced. Housing is way reduced. Mortgage interest is almost half as much. Utilities a little bit higher because it is adjusted for inflation. Apparel way down because when you're old, you don't care. Hell, I'm 52. I don't care. Transportation's way down. Finance charge, we're not financing anything. Healthcare is up. We're older. Entertainment's down. How much we're putting in for 401k insurance and pensions and Social Security is way down because most of us aren't working. Home value has gone up, just basically inflation. Income has gone down because we're not working. And when you don't work, you don't spend as much. I think I got taxes in here. Taxes are way down. Look at that. $4,200 to $1,000 in taxes. I mean, and then our household size is 1.9 because there are some people who's become a widow or widower. All right, so now Josh and Charlotte are still in our 65 to 74-year-old time frame. Inflation kicks in. Come here, baby. And our costs go up with inflation. Went from 36,000 to 42,000 in 2009 dollars. But now we're over 675. We're old cranky, yelling at the clouds, saying, "Get up on!" Our spending now is literally, we spent the same amount of dollars in 2014 than we did in 1989. $36,000. 25 years later, we are spending in 2014 $36,000. 25 years earlier, we spent 36,000 bucks. Why? Our food consumption is way down. Our housing is way down because mortgage interest is way down. Our utilities are dropping off a little bit from the previous time, but not much. Our apparel's way down. We're probably just changing underwear, because we have so many accidents, if you know what I'm saying, and we're not on Depends yet. Transportation's way down because who's driving when you're 75 years old or more? Not very much finance charge. Healthcare is up. That's the big one that jumped up. Entertainment's way down because we just want to sit there and go to the blue light special and watch the early baseball game and go to bed. We're not putting much in terms of pensions and Social Security, and our household size has gone down because a good amount of people are going to be widows and widowers. Anyway, that is that is the evidence right there, man. Abraham and Sarah, that's what it was. Yep, yep, yep. Abraham and Sarah. I thought it was Sarah for Abraham of spending in retirement. So when I use these models, or not me, but other financial planners, they use these models that assume you need this guy. Yeah, right here. They assume you need 1.04 million at a 4% rule, or 900,000 at a 5% rule. I mean, I'll show you the problem with these assumptions is this right here. It's just it has this going up each and every year with inflation. And there's just no evidence of that, man. There's a few. Even the evidence is so weak. It's not. It's just the evidence is so overwhelming in the other direction. If that makes sense, and I'll show you. So I got this. I'm going to show you this actually from my book that I will produce here shortly if I can find. I'm just going to keep doing this until it sinks in for people to stop worrying so much. Right here. It's crazy to me. Crazy to me. You get all the stories about I retired and blah blah blah, and there's power right here. There's the numbers on spending right there. You can see it goes up, it goes down, goes up, it goes down. This is from the CES, Consumer Expenditure Survey, or CEX, they call it. I call it CES. So people say, your numbers are wrong. Well, okay. I'm not NASA. I don't just make stuff up. You know what I'm saying? I'm using the numbers that the BLS gives us. Now, if BLS numbers are wrong, it wouldn't shock me. Then we're all screwed because that's what CPI is based on. All right. So that's my presentation. This pretty simple stuff here. Everyone's freaking out. Like, I need $2 million. I need $1 million to retire. Yeah, based on if your expenditures go up like that, yeah, you probably do. If your expenditures drop like the vast majority of evidence that we have, you probably don't. But I will tell you, you ain't got no time to waste, man. You ain't got no time to waste. Too many people dying early for various things. I don't know what's causing it, but we got sudden adult death syndrome. The most risky endeavor you can do anymore is sleeping. And if you're an athlete and is doing athletic activity, apparently it's crazy. Who would have thought that sleeping and athletic activity would be very threatening to your life? But apparently it is. Anyway, like my man Dan, he's playing a very simple lifestyle. Absolutely. I was talking to a guy yesterday. It's funny. He drives a 1999 Silverado. Wife drives a 2013 freaking Honda Odyssey. Yeah, he's got well more than enough to buy a brand spanking new car, but it just doesn't. They've been sitting in the same house for 30 years, raised 3 kids. Wife stayed home to raise the kids. It's like, I said, what do you like to do? He goes, oh man, I like to garden. I like to get under the hood. I like to, what else did he say he wants to do? Plant fruit trees, a couple other things he likes to do as well, because he just retired a couple months ago. And he's like, anyway, he's not a lack of want to do stuff. But one thing that wasn't in there was a whole lot of spending on things. He just, I don't need that much money. Just don't. And I don't even know, like, when I think about it, well, I need $5,000 a month to include healthcare. I don't know. Maybe. I have no idea. I don't. I mean, literally, man. Like, literally, what I do. I took Chloe to University of Georgia on Sunday night, which is why I couldn't do a live stream. So that that was. I drove to Athens. It's about an hour and a half each way. Today I drove to Publix. And then I drove to Cambridge early this morning to drop my kid off across country. That's the extent of my drive. I don't drive. I literally, I don't, that's it. That's why I like it. Now, I am going to Tennessee next weekend. I can't remember off the top. I think it's next weekend. I am going to, I'll drive up to Tennessee. There's a big, a prepper convention of sorts. I can't wait. I'm very much looking forward to that. I forgot what it's called. I'm going up there, and I drive on occasion. I'll go to long, but I literally don't do much, man. What do I make? I got some, I buy my meats at Costco. Freaking $200 for top sirloin, prime cut. I can't remember. You just cut that sucker up, vacuum seal it, put in your freezer, and use it over the next month. And I got a big fat ribeye that I'm sous vide as we sit here today. We don't eat out that much. One of my kids wants to go to see the Braves playoff game. I'm like, dude, I had no desire to do that. I mean, I like minor league stuff, but I have no desire to go see the Braves in the playoff game. No desire at all. Just simple people, man. My wife, her friends coming in from Texas. She'll fly to Texas on occasion, see her. I just, not much, dudes. You know what I'm saying? It's how much you need. Again, as I always say, the biggest cost we got is we're still on Cobra and this guy right here. And once this guy right here is paid off, I mean, man, all that money that we're squirreling away to pay off the debt is just going to go to squirrel into the assets. Anyway, I would try to say my goal is to have 500,000 when I retire. I don't know when retire is going to be. Not including that, we're not including equity in my home. If equity in my home, I'm well above that now. But 500,000 in liquid assets. If you can make that a goal, I think the vast majority of us, if you had 500,000 in investments, are going to be just fine. Just fine. If you can make that a goal, even if you don't get to that goal, you're probably going to be just fine. I've done this for so long, man. And you can see it. You can see it. It's the same story. Now, there are people that want the golf clubs. They want to travel. They want to buy catamarans. There are people like that. And 5,000 probably won't be sufficient. They're not that many. And that's okay for those people. They're like, yeah, man, I want to live that way. I don't yell at them or anything. It's like, all right, can we make it happen? Those people who want to live that way, generally speaking, have the resources in which to do that. But if you have $300,000 in your portfolio and you want a catamaran and you want to, travel to Caesar's cheese all day long, it ain't going to happen. You know what I'm saying? But I think if you can make a goal for $500,000, let's say you're in your 50s, I'm 52. I say at 60, I'd like to have $500,000. I think that's well within spitting distance. You see what I'm saying? I mean, you guys take your present value today and all that, but I think that's a goal that's somewhat attainable for most, or many, or few. I don't know. And if you're 58 years old, and make a goal 250. I think making a goal is important, and not because you want to hang your head in shame if it doesn't work. Hell's bells. I don't know. You don't know what the future holds, but I'm just thinking in the back of your mind, say, okay. My inclination is that the vast majority of people, if they had $500,000 put away in some type of portfolio, are going to be just fine in retirement. The vast majority. And I bet a lot of people would be just fine without that too. But at the end of the day, you always want to I'm from Maine, man. You always want to overshoot. You know what I'm saying? Cautiously pessimistic on anything. Anyway, it's something to strive for. Now, if you're 58 and you got $100,000, well, then you really got to focus on how much is your house worth. Are you going to downsize? What your expenditures are? You know what I'm saying? Where you think about getting some brand spanking new shiny pearly whites that might need to get some wooden teeth instead. I don't know, but a lot of us don't spend $5,000 a month anyway, and we certainly don't spend $5,000 a month adjusted for inflation. But I just like a nice 500,000, nice round number, something you can sink your teeth in. Now that does not mean, again, I just want to be clear: if you don't have $500,000 or even a spit distance, don't hang your head in shame. Social Security is a huge benefit, my friends. They're not taking it away. I did a video. Hope you watched that video earlier today. I did. Will Social Security be there for me? Yes, it will be there for you, unequivocally, 100%. So we know Social Security is going to be there for you. Now you need something to complement that. All right. So let's see what you guys got. I can't remember the convention's name. Actually, let me see. It's called. It is called. Pablo. Kill me. Pablo. Growly McGee. All right. Trying to think what it's called here. Self-reliance Festival. That's what it's called. Actually, we'll bring it up. Self-reliance Festival. Self-reliance Festival. Very much looking forward to this. I think I'm sharing this. Take a long time. All right. So here's the home of selfreliancefestival.com. Tickets are still available. And Self-Reliance Festival, Camden, Tennessee. Special operations equipment gives you a close-up of both strategic and tactical skills. The many thoroughly practical demonstrations include emergency medical training, aquaponics, defense of dogs, canning. I like that one. Blacksmithing. I'm interested in blacksmithing. I don't really care too much about permaculture. That doesn't. I just like a good old-fashioned garden and some fruit trees. Spinning. I'm not all that familiar with that. But Nicole Sauce. I would call her my friend. She actually, I think I've interviewed her a couple times. She does coffee, holler roast coffee. There's Jack Spurko, big fan, long time, first time. Toolman Tim Cook, building a successful content creation lifestyle. He's like a handyman business. I don't know. This guy's big on, a lot of these guys are big on crypto. I can't stand crypto. I don't hate him for that. That's not I could care less. Here's this guy. 6-year-old homesteading prepping grandma, essentially alone, navigates the ups and downs, sometimes funny happening to older woman who just won't quit. Independent defense dog training. That's pretty cool. You hear that, Pablo? Let's see. Wow, this guy right here. Huge fan of Nick Ferguson. I love that guy. Nick Ferguson kicks ass right there. Taking advantage of the abundance of meat possible that herd of rabbits. I can't wait to see that. Ken Berry. This guy, freaking love Ken Berry. That guy kicks ass, dudes. He's going to be there. I didn't know he was going to be there. That's fantastic. Dealing with emergency when there is no doctor. We got traditional blacksmithing, Dakota Babato. That's pretty cool. Hand tools, hooks, key fobs, the application of blacksmith. Oh, man, see, that's fun. Andy Higginbotham, learn the simple tools to educate your children, no matter your education experience. All right. Protection canines. Distilling for fuel. This is cool. See how making a mash and extracting a small still creates high-proof ethanol that can run small engines. Right on. Weaving. Yeah, it doesn't. See, building the future with hemp. Knitting corner, building a vortex tea brewer. Cool. Right here, I'm very much looking for safe canning. I can't wait to see that. Weapons-based grappling with blue guns and training knives. Interesting. Ooh, out of the orchard. Live music. Cool, man. Tight harmonies and acoustic instrumentation. Construction skills for the homestead. Jason Sparks. Anyway, lots of cool stuff. I'm very much looking forward. It's going to be fun. You can get tickets. I think the tickets are, let me just show you the agenda. It is wherever Camden, Tennessee is like east or west, kind of southwest of Nashville. Anyway, so we got lots of, right here. Raise all your meat for free. That was pretty good. Ellis Family Farms, backyard aquaculture. I'm interested in that. So Jack raises fish, and he raises food on his fish aquaculture. I think it's pretty cool. I like hydroponics, but I haven't really done aquaculture yet. Then we got presentations here. Turning content into currency. Dr. Ken Berry. Rabbits for food. Easy peasy garden solutions. The Food Church. Oh, man. How awesome is that? So anyway, I am stoked to go that. It's I think it was, let's say, $75 or something like that. Let's see. All right. See, if there's no reason not to be a prepper, man. That doesn't mean the zombies, doesn't mean the commies, doesn't mean anything. It just it's stupid not to have preparations. I mean, we used to talk about this, and the government still does. I mean, they still say have 3 days of supplies. Anyways, $75, or if you want to do VIP, this is what I did. I did the VIP so I can get the T-shirt, and I want very much looking forward to being the speakers. Anyways, but the point being is you don't have to. I just all these people like, oh, I'm prepping. Oh, like, dude, if you're I don't get why people don't have any kind of preps. It's weird to me. You don't have enough, at least some kind of food squirreled away in water, iodine tablets, a little bit of bleach, anything. This, freaking filters, firewood. Oh, in fact, I need to run up. I need to run up and redo some propane tanks. I got like how many propane tanks? I got 5 propane tanks. I'm down to my last 2 now. That's not good. The propane tanks now, the Blue Rhinos are $66 a pop. They were $42 a pop just last spring, maybe winter. And I'm not sure they go up or down in the wintertime, but I'm not taking any chance there because I like having propane tanks. You know what I'm saying? I just don't get why people don't just take some basic preparations. It doesn't mean you're worried about the commies or Black Lives Matter or the John Birch Society. It's crazy not to do that. And maybe it's just because I'm from Maine. I was born and raised on an island. Was raised on an island in Maine, and just when the boat doesn't come, you're in a world of hurt. But I just it's weird to me how many people just think, oh, anyway. And that goes back to why I'm so freaking optimistic, man. Because while there's this shutting down of the censorship is out there, you have more access to information now, even if you have to search for it, than you ever did before. When I was growing up, I just love metal. I've always loved heavy metal. Always wanted to play an electric guitar and just freaking go crazy. You know what I'm saying? And there's no YouTube. There's no way you could just, and I lived on an island for heaven's sake. I couldn't just go to the main mall up in South Portland from my island when I was 12 years old. It didn't work like that. So how are you going to find out how to play guitar? Well, you got to find somebody who can show you. That's it. You can buy a book, but books don't work. I need video. Anyway, long story short, I haven't played a guitar in 10 years, but I just started watching some YouTube channel videos back in 2006 or something like that. Bought a crappy old guitar, plugged it in, figured out the amp, figured out the stomp box and all that. It's like, oh man, I can. You know what I'm saying? It's fun. You couldn't do that before. Yeah, censorship's out there, I grant you, but there's ways around. I listen to Owen Benjamin almost every day. He's the most censored guy there is. Yeah, he's got. They just did a big festival in Missouri, the Bertario. 600-700 people showed up, man. Talk about same thing we're going to talk about here. It was prep skills and whatnot. Just being around people that you like, that enjoy, that are like you. It's fun. You couldn't do this when I was growing up. It was crazy. That like even back to music. I say this all the time. After 1982, something happened in the music industry. They couldn't play anything that was worth a damn on the radio anymore. And if you lived in Maine, that's all you got. WBLM. You didn't get punk rock, hardcore, heavy metal. There was no other way to get it unless you went down to Boston. Well, how's a poor kid in Maine going to go down to Boston? It ain't going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So you didn't get anything. Unless some kid from, older brother who was going to BU or something like that came back and had some tapes. So you're stuck. You're listening to David Bowie all day long. And you just want to basically drop an anvil on your head. And no one wants to listen to David Bowie all day long. Or the Rolling Stones. You hear about, I think I said this last time, the Wyman or Bill Ryman or whatever his name is. Not a good guy. No one wants to listen to these guys. The Rolling Stones suck. David Bowie sucks. Everybody knows this. This is just, it's literally no one alive is going to sit there and say the Rolling Stones are good. We all know they're horrible. I'm just goofing you because there are people who like the Rolling Stones. Anyway, point being is you're like, dude, at the end of the day, you don't have to do all that now. It's great. You can meet like-minded people and converge with them in Tennessee. All kinds of stuff. You can see people are banned everywhere and still follow them on various channels on unauthorized.tv, BitChute, all these other places, Rumble. It's freaking awesome, man. You can learn all kinds of stuff. Learn canning. How the hell are you going to learn canning? I can't watch a book, read a book. I got to have someone show it to me to do it. Sous vide. How do I learn sous vide with a Ninja Foodie? All these people are like, oh my goodness, the censorship. I'm like, compare what it was. And now it's okay. And when, I don't like the 57 flavor stuff, but with that said, it's okay to go against the grain nowadays. More and more people are doing it. That's why when I say I don't believe the moon landing, people say, oh, but they, at the end of the day, they hear me out because they're like, I don't know, that seems kind of odd. Before, I never thought about it. I just didn't really care. Now I care. I don't like being lied to. I hate people lying to me. I think it's all fake. And people are like, I can't believe it. Well, back then you'd never even heard that because you would never have an audience to say to talk about that. You say the moon landing, people are like, oh no, we can't make sense of you. Also, that was Walter Cronkite. Walter Cronkite, who lied about the Tet Offensive. Walter Cronkite, who lied about 3 Mile Island. Walter Cronkite, a big gun control advocate who wanted to ban handguns. That's all he had. So the Tet Offensive turns out to be a win for the U.S., but we did not know that because Walter Cronkite lied. Now it's not like that. Oh, hold on a second. I got to sneeze. Look at that. Look at that. Still got snot. It's awesome, man. And now you get it's just so much to say. It's just so much out there for the taking for people who just want to go out there and say, I'm going to go against the grain. Why would you not do that? It's crazy. Now you might be like a guy I was talking to yesterday. I don't want to say he loved his corporate job, but he created some pretty cool stuff as corporation. Now I'm not going to get into what he did because that'd be bad. But I was like, damn, that's pretty cool, man. You created that? Yeah, I was on the team that did this. Like, wow. How many of you are doing that? I certainly wasn't at USA. I remember at USA, it's like, hey, I got an idea. No. Like, but it's pretty good. No. Like, okay. Go back to your cube. Oh boy. I love Rolling Stones, not a care in the world that other drivers might mind. How dare you? David Bowie. Oh. Actually, me and this guy Brendan, when I was living in Maine, we used to smoke something, if you know what I'm saying, and listen to David Bowie a lot. So I did not hate David Bowie. Let me just be very blunt. Blunt, get it? Yeah. David Bowie. But when you learn about some of these guys, they're freaking scumbags, dude. Elton John, David Bowie, the guy from the Rolling Stones. I even know about Mick Jagger. I can only imagine. Never mind Keith Richards and the other guy. All scumbags. There's just some bad stuff in the modern era of music. But be that as it may, some of that I never got the Beatles. I never understood why people love the Beatles. Weird to me. Elvis, my wife loves Elvis. I don't get it. I was like, dude, that stuff sucks. But she can't stand my music either. I get it. Of course, she's wrong and I'm right. All right. We are old. Why do you say that? Oh, Rolling Stone. Now, you throw the Who on there. I get Pete Townsend. What the hell was he up to? I don't know. Kind of weird. Did you hear about the Police too, by the way? There's some weird stuff going on with Sting. That's kind of weird. Pete Townsend. Again, Elton John was the thing that was just, that guy's a creep. And then he's getting, Joe Biden. The whole thing's just nuts. Look, we are run by bad people in the society. And it's always been like that. And it forever will be. Evil, God allows evil, and it's here. It reigns. I don't want to say it certainly doesn't reign supreme, but certainly is taking a lot of souls with him. And this is why I just got to read C.S. Lewis, man. Just read C.S. Lewis' book. If nothing else, read Screw Tape Proposes a Toast. If you don't do anything else in your life, just read C.S. Lewis, Screw Tape Proposes a Toast. And it's going to go part and parcel where we are as a society. It's less evil in terms of horrific evil, but it's more evil in terms of the amount of people who have fallen for it, if that makes sense. So you get less, Stalins, but you get more, but what Screwtape, he's the devil, the tempter of the devil, more corrupt Hunter Biden types, if that makes sense, where you just got more corruption. And he talks about union leaders who stole from the union membership and, guys who do bad things. And the devil doesn't like that. The tempters, the people who serve the devil, they don't like, it's not a very fulfilling taste, but it is sustenance for them. But they're just like, I need another Hitler. I need another, he talks about some of the other guys. I forgot, Genghis Khan or something like that. But it's just like, so the devil's like, oh, these corrupt union leaders and these corrupt whatever politicians and these corrupt priests, because C.S. Lewis goes off in the church. He goes, yeah, they give us life as we eat them, but there's no taste there. There's no fire. I need a Hitler. I need a freaking, you know what? It's freaking. I mean, I'm telling you, if you don't read anything else, Screw Tape Proposes a Toast by C.S. Lewis. That's the latter part of the Screw Tape letters. It is freaking classic. All right. Anything else there, man? And I have a thing. If you want to join the YouTube channel, I guess gotta do this better. But there's a thing on the Goobly Goop there you can join. I think it's $5 a month, and if you join, you get a little badge next to your name on the comments. You know what I'm saying? I forgot how it works actually. It's like $5 a month if you want to join the Heritage Wealth Planning YouTube channel. It'll say join down there. You become a member. You get a little badge, which is pretty cool because the badge will make me understand whose loyalty is. Sounds bad, but the badge is kind of cool because then you can say, hey, this guy's a supporter, and you can kind of make sure you identify that in terms of that guy has a question, because you can see all these out right here. I can't. It's hard to follow all these things, if that makes sense. Especially when I'm just yapping, and I got Puppy Dog here. You want to see something else that's funny? Look at that guy. Oh, look at the baby. Look at the baby cakes. Oh, no, no. What are you doing? Oh, what's up, Doc? Hey, Doc. Benny? No, nothing. Oh, man, I love these baby cakes. We were this close to getting a third. Old Augustus. But the stupid place, they wanted like blood. Basically, they're like, we need this, we need that. We're like, look, dudes, we're just here to get another dog, but we're not going to jump through hoops for you. It's stupid. Right? But we were that close to getting old Augustus. So look kind of like this guy right here. But we didn't. Anyway. All right, my friends. I'm going to get out of here, man. Appreciate y'all being here. God bless. Don't be afraid to retire, man. Look at my man Bob Lowry. My wife and I live on $4,000 a month, afraid to retire, a house paid off and no debt. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. I'm like, dude, you got Social Security kicking in. I mean, what? Man says, we've seen portfolios circle the drain over the past 9 months. They've circled the drain. How much reforecast should we embroil in? Reforecast? I don't even know what that means. How much reforecast should? I don't know what you're saying, man. All right, I can get out of here. Appreciate y'all being here. Love to see you. God bless.